Hello, welcome to Talkin Kop. It's a new member show. It is the title. It's me, Chris Brack, and I'm joined by Gav and Andy. Andy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
Grand mate. It's nice. It's nice talking about us winning stuff, isn't it?
It is nice. I could do this all day.
Yeah. So cool. So the purpose of the show then is we're gonna in over 6 episodes talk about just the Premier League games and the road to winning our title, Gav, which is quite nice. We waited long enough for it, and it wasn't exactly a quiet season, was it?
No, I'm putting it out here now. I'm going on memory, and I will do across the 6 shows. So the chance are I get some stuff wrong, but the things you can't get wrong is the start of the season we have, the run we go on, is scandalous, and COVID and the whole world wanting football to be like literally just disbanded because Liverpool are flying, coming back, winning it, and yeah, it's a memorable season for for loads of different reasons, I suppose, and it should be more memorable, but circumstances kind of hold that back a little bit.
I know. So let's set the scene then. So Liverpool coming off the back of winning the Champions League, which is always a good start to a season.
Yeah.
And Andy, there was lots of Champions of Europe. Let's go for the title. Let's get some big transfers in. Let's hit the iron while it's hot. And we ended up bringing in Harvey Elliott, Andy Lonergan, and on the last day of the window, Adrian. Be honest,
Yeah.
it wasn't inspiring, was it?
No, it wasn't. But I do remember not panicking at the time, thinking like I was still basking in Allison and Van Dijk. You know what I mean? Like, and then winning the Champions League, and I kind of like at that stage I was just completely hands off the wheel. Like whatever he's deciding here is all right with me. But I do remember a bit of buzz about Harvey Elliott. All right, when he came, that seemed like one of those real shrewd moves at the time, and it was a shrewd move really. But yeah, at the time I wasn't panicking too much. But yeah, it's always nice to see some new signings coming in.
Gav, we were doing shows, and let's be honest, mate, everyone was losing their shit over it. And you could understand to a point because you were like, you surely should add a bit more than two goalies and a kid.
Yeah,
So I think Sepp Vandenberg came in as well, so
yeah,
another kid.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, yeah. Look, we thought when we won that Champions League, we thought like I think I'm trying to think of the players that leave after. I think Sturridge goes off the back of it, doesn't he?
Sturridge, Moreno,
Yeah.
Bogdan,
Yeah,
the great Conor Randall, which I forgot was still there.
yeah,
We got 20 million for Danny Ings.
yeah.
Ryan Kent went to Rangers. We had the whole Bobby Duncan fiasco of him going
Mignolet
to
leave.
and Mignolet leaves, and he tells Klopp about I think it's on the day of the Charity Shield or the day before. I want to leave. I want to go back to Belgium,
Bruges. Yeah.
Bruges.
So there was quite a bit leaving, and they weren't bang on starters, but I think when Sturridge and Ings leave, you're kind of going, well, they'll bring someone in here. Moreno leaves at left back, and you're thinking they might bring something in there. Mignolet leaving means you have to bring a goalkeeper in. They end up bringing in two. Harvey Elliott, Sepp van den Berg is just a boy from I can't remember the club he was with, but he's kind of like one for the future. And the Harvey Elliott thing goes to tribunal, but he's highly, highly rated. But look, let's be fair. Yes, there was people losing their heads, and there was people going, yeah, I'm a bit concerned. We should be adding a bit to it, but I think it becomes very clear halfway through the summer that Klopp has kind of said to himself, "No, hold on. The players we have gone and done 97 points. They've won a European Cup, and he has every faith in them to go and go one better in the league. And I think it's actually kind of a, what you call that when you kind of batten down the hatches, siege mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an unsaid siege mentality from Liverpool. European champions, and we're literally just going to go, these boys are good enough. I'm telling you, they're good enough. And if we get it right, we'll go and win a title. And then they do. But when during the summer, yeah, look, it's fair. If if you are sitting there, if you're telling me that you're sitting there going, I'm 100% absolutely fucking fine with this. Like Andy's saying, hand off the wheel. We've won a European Cup. Like, just enjoy it. But if you're getting into the real analytics of it, I don't think there's many out there going, I think he's doing exactly the right thing here by not bringing in a fucking senior outfield player, you know. But that's what he done, and he gets proven right.
He does in the end. But just go on, sorry, Andy, go.
No, sorry. No, I was just going to say, like you kind of said before, like my thinking on that was like you said, we got 97 points the season before, and I think like it was definitely one of these where you kind of assume that there's going to be someone coming in, but then it's kind of like as the game started, you just got more and more confident in it. You know what I mean?
We did.
I think you're gone, or I'm gone.
No, you're okay.
I think it might be me. So of course, we lose the Community Shield on penalties to City, but we give City a good game. It's actually, I was at the Community Shield. It was really even game. City dominated the first half. Liverpool dominated the second half.
Matip scores, I think, for Liverpool, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then I think Gini misses the penalty. But all round, you kind of went off it going, do you know what? They look pretty ready actually. So this will be interesting. So we start unusually for Liverpool at home Friday night. Norwich at home.
Yeah.
And I think we start with the back four everyone remembers, which is like Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Robbo, Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho. But Origi starts up front instead of Mane, because Mane literally came back from AFCON about a few days later. So, but it's what we always want, Gav, isn't it? First game of the season is a home tie against a winnable side, and first half Liverpool were just fabulous.
Yeah, they were. But you know what? I have to give some credit to Norwich, who I thought were excellent, and like we come into this game and it's like, it's the first kind of game of the season. It's the first game as European champions, and everyone's buzzing. And we come into the game, like you said, Mane doesn't start. Norwich are quite good the first half. They have that guy that's at Rangers now, Cantwell, who was really, really good in the game. But Liverpool just put them to the sword. I think Grant Hanley scores an own goal, makes it 1-0. I want to say, does Mo make it 2? Van Dijk makes it 3. Origi makes it 4 in that order.
Yes. We're about 3-0 up after 28 minutes and full flow. And Andy, we're all going 3-0. Great, this. Nothing could go wrong here. This is a great start to the season. And then Alisson kicks the ball clear and doesn't get up. Gav, and we all go, oh, I remember doing the show, post-match show with you a few days later. We were talking about it, and the big debate was, had he blown his calf? Had he blown his knee? It didn't look good. And Adrian has to make his debut, and he'd literally been in the club 2 days. Don't think he'd even trained.
Yeah. But that was the thing in the whole game. Liverpool win the game, and you're kind of going, this is great. We're winning 4. We're winning. I don't know. We're not winning 4-0 at the time when he goes down. But he literally comes out to clear the ball. And no, sorry, he doesn't. He takes a goal kick, and when he takes a goal kick, it looks like he slips, but he actually doesn't. He does. I think is it a calf? He does.
He tears his calf.
Yeah.
He actually he's been interviewed since saying he thought someone from the crowd had threw something at him.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. It felt like someone hit him.
Because you're sitting there and he kicks it, and it looks like he slips. And a couple of people are like, hey, he slips, and then he's like, oh, hold on, he's staying down. And then we're seeing Adrian on the sideline, and we're like, okay, this could be interesting. But like, we get through it. But the big worry off the back of it is of course, how long are we going to have Adrian? And that's the big worry.
And it turns out to be, it's quite a while. I think it's Man United, like, what was it, October time?
9 games in, I think.
Yeah, so this is already the first test of, well, let's see what this squad can do then, because, you've already lost the best goalkeeper in the league by some distance. So we're going, right, so it was one of those where you were made up Liverpool had won. They played really well, but then you had that niggle in the back of your head. And then, Andy, I think we went into the Super Cup and
Mhm.
eventually won that on penalties.
Yeah.
And in less than under 48 hours, because it went to extra time and penalties, we had to go away to Southampton for I'm pretty certain it's an early kickoff, which just felt like a setup to be an absolute fall, didn't it?
It's just a classic thing now of like Liverpool and the early kickoffs because it was just and then, like maybe that was the start of it, but it just seemed like my memory on it isn't great, but I remember around that period just thinking like this is an absolutely obscene amount of games that we have to play in such a short space of time. Um, but uh, but yeah, not ideal, I suppose you'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Gav, in terms of team wise, we do have to change around a bit. Gomez drops out for Matip, Chamberlain comes in for Henderson, Milner comes in for Fabinho, and then it's the main boys up front because that's all we have. But we did have to pretty much go with 2/3 of our main midfield out. And Chamberlain was still in and out with injuries, and Milner was a lot more younger then, so that felt less the risk. But you were looking going, it's not our strongest line of this. And to be fair, Southampton gives a hell of a scare. To give Adrian some credit, he makes a big save from Rashida probably in the first 5 minutes from a header.
Yeah, it's look, it's like any season really when it comes to Klopp and Liverpool. He tries to go quite easy on the squad with regards to minutes, as easy as he can in those first 4 games, because you get. I'm sure this season was probably 4 games and an international break because they all are, the sort of way. But he starts with Norwich. He loses his keeper. He has Mane coming back from an international tournament quite late to play Norwich. Then they go away and they play. Was it in? I don't even know where that played in the Super Cup was.
I feel like I want to say Istanbul. It was somewhere. It was ridiculously hot. I remember that.
Yeah. So they go
Yeah.
off to do that, and then they get back and go straight to Southampton and normally I feel that Klopp tries to give as many players time as he can in the first 3 or 4 league games. He definitely does it in this, but we get through it. Mane gets the force right on the stroke at half time, I think it is.
It's a world, isn't it?
Yeah, Firmino makes it 2.
Yeah.
Then Adrian has just fucking decides, listen, here's the thing, sign of things to fucking come, and just lashes it off Ings to make it 2-1. But he makes a good save, I think, from Ings as well, or one of them in the second half as well.
He does,
makes
yeah.
a really good save. And we managed to get out of it. And I kind of felt at the time, get through the first 4. Get through it until it settles down and we'd be all right. But we come away with another win and it's 6 from 6.
Yeah. Do you remember the Mane goal, Andy? Because it was like edge of the area, top corner. I think they said this whole XG thing, it was like a 3% chance of scoring from where it was. It was outrageous.
It was absolutely insane, and like it was almost like with him, you almost just like. I always just kind of believed that it was going in whenever he lined up from that position. Like he always seemed to have this knack of getting it like you couldn't place it more perfectly in the top corner, like and absolutely lashing it as well. Yeah, it was glorious. It was brilliant, and I was just remembering that Adrian balls up with Ings. Like I was only watching that the other day, just sort of looking back over the thing, and I was just I do remember thinking at the time like, oh shite, like what.
But it was coming in that game because I think he looks really way too. Do you know what happens, Adrian? He like. Megan says there we are lucky to come away with the 3 points. Had to dig deep against Southampton, and Kev had said at the time Adrian was at West Ham, but nobody knew he could cope with the step up. And all the stuff around the media was he's been at West Ham, he's been on free transfers. This is the European champions looking to win a league. How will he respond to it? And most goalkeepers will go and go, just do fucking everything, the basics, do them all right. Don't fucking worry about it. I'm not Alisson Becker. And he decided that he wanted to morph into Alisson Becker by, literally thinking he had the fucking foot skills of Zidane, at his disposal.
Yeah.
And he looks way too... He tries to give off this persona of I'm so fucking cool, lads, relax, this is all good. But he's an absolute, like, he's a bomb waiting to go off. There's no doubt about it. Like, he's a bomb scare.
Yeah, like he's kind of thinking like this is what Liverpool want from their goalkeeper. Grand.
So I'll do it, even though I'm not able to.
Yeah, even though I don't have the actual capabilities to play like the best goalkeeper in the world. Yeah. So maybe I should just not cause too many waves.
Yeah, because he was waiting till the last second to kick balls up the pitch and all. And you're like, this is coming. And when it happens, you're going to go, I knew this was going to happen. He's doing it all fucking game, But we get through.
By the way, one of these days I'd love to interview Andy Lonergan, who literally was told come to Liverpool just to help train the lads because we need a goalie because we've got a couple of injuries.
Yeah,
gets a super cup and a league title out of it. Doesn't play a minute.
Yeah, and a nice wedge of money, I'd say as well.
Yeah, that's a great life. I'd love to interview him. Just say, so what was that like?
Well, he's definitely walking away with those 2 medals and possibly £500,000 in his pocket.
That's not a
That's
bad
pretty good gig, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I'd do it.
Yeah, I would,
and I wouldn't fuck around with Southampton with the ball at my feet either. I'd be just kicking it as far as I can. So
because remember, we did think he was going to play because we forget Adrian was an injury doubt because he some fan had around the pitch and slide tackled him.
Yeah, and like I genuinely believe that if I was in that squad, we would have won 2-0 at Southampton. That's all I'm saying. It would have been a clean sheet.
Cool. So 24th of August, Bank Holiday weekend, Arsenal at home. I was lucky enough to go to this game, and this was the first big game because this is Arsenal under Unai Emery, and they were in good form. You know, they looked a threat. You know, but Liverpool dispatched them. But do you remember the big thing about this game, Gav? Despite the fact that Arsenal lost, was
your man ran around. Your man ran past Van
Dijk. First time Van Dijk had been ran past in a year. And that was, you forget, that was a thing for ages.
Yeah, but you know what?
Can you run past them?
Yeah, so I think that, do Liverpool win this 3-0?
3-1.
3-1. And this is the one where Salah gets her on the right and just skins David Luiz. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
And just runs in and curls in the bottom corner. I'm trying to think of the other goals. I'm sure you'll remind me in a minute. But your man runs by Virgil van Dijk, right? What was his name again? Pepe, yeah, the guy that was worth about 25 million, and his chairman at Nice, was it?
Yeah,
Nice. Basically used Liverpool to up the price, and Arsenal went, we'll gazump Liverpool, here's 72 million, and Liverpool were there going, we have nothing to fucking do with this fella. What's going on? But anyway, he dribbles past Virgil van Dijk, but you know what it's like? You know when you do a still shot of something? It's like when you see a handball, and it's like, how did he get away with that? And you go, well, mate, it hit his leg before it hit his hand. But they do this still shot where you can see him going past Van Dijk. But if you actually play it on, Van Dijk just runs after him and takes the ball out him. Just fucking takes it off him. I was like, fuck off, will you?
Just like the fact, I was going to say, sorry, the fact that that's even like a stat or something worthy of being
massive thing.
Like that shows, like that just stands to Van Dijk even more. Where it's just like you're actually talking about, like not like you know, like oh, you made a mug of him or you nutmegged him. Like he ran past him for a second before Van Dijk just decided to just dial it up.
Yeah, but Arsenal were still in this realm of, you know, our new signing made a mockery or centre half. Mate, lads, we've just literally dispatched a 3-1 with the minimum fuss. Like, what is going on here? You know, the sort of
like they've won the match, like because of this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other goals. I remember the Salah one.
Yeah, I will do. The thing we forget though is before Matip scores, Arsenal have got 2-3 good chances. Adrian has another moment where Van Dijk tells him stay there, and he decides to run out anyway and kick it straight to Pepe, who does the decent thing and misses it.
Yeah,
I think Henderson from a corner tries to control it midair, misses it, and the clean.
That one I remember. It was like Henderson. Yeah, it was just Henderson, and then Adrian actually does do well there. And to be honest, he does do well for a lot of these early games. Like in chunks, but I do remember that Henderson one where you're just like, oh my god, and he's nowhere near him like when he's chasing him. But it was a good stop.
So you think it just gets? I was thinking at the time, just get to half time and we'll have a little bit of a wake up, and we have a late corner, and basically Van Dijk was getting near no corners. He's getting WWE body slammed on the floor. And Matip jumps up and it slaps him on the side of the head. I don't think he means to head it where he heads it. It just hits the side of his head, flies in. And you've got to love a Joel Matip celebration. He's just so overjoyed when he scores.
Yeah, it's just coming back to me now. Yeah,
runs up the Kop, doesn't he? It's Kop end. So, and there's still that stat exists now with Liverpool is when they're ahead at half time, you just chill then. You're going, we don't lose generally when we're ahead at half time. You know, we very rarely draw. So you kind of go, thank God for that. But that felt like a massive goal because Arsenal had made that half tricky. Well, you still felt Liverpool would win. It was very tricky. And then kick off second half. I can't remember if it's Fabinho or Mane. Plays the ball to Salah. And as he runs past David Luiz goes, "Oh, I'm not doing this." He just yanks him. His shirt's about this far wide.
Yeah.
And the ref goes, "Penalty, shirt tuck." And all the Arsenal players go, "What do you mean? I've let go." It was the maddest thing you've ever seen anyone argue. It's the biggest shirt pull. And it's probably one of Mo Salah's best penalties, Andy.
Yes.
He absolutely rifles it. Pace, power, top corner. That's what you want.
And that's the thing, like that's what I love. Like it was one of those like penalties where it would just still be rising if the goal wasn't there. And the fact, and again I was watching it, and it was one of those penalties where you got an insane amount of curve on it for such a short distance, like where he's kicking it. But I do remember that penalty where it was just like Arsenal are basically complaining because Salah doesn't go down. Or did he go down? Am I remembering that right? Because I just remember
he just turned around and looked at the ref. Go, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, like it's just kind of like, why should that be the rule? That like, do I have to do this whole act where I go down? Like, can you not see what's happened? But yeah, absolutely clinically dispatched. And that's the thing I love about Salah's penalties is that he absolutely smashes them. So it just like, even if the keeper had gone the right way there, like there's no saving that one.
Yeah, and the third one's your favourite, Gav. I mean,
the third one we're playing out from the back, if I remember, and it's like Arsenal go to press, and I think Fabinho actually just spins one around the corner to Salah, who's on the right wing at the Kemlin side of the pitch, and he just literally goes boom boom, and he's gone. And I think it's David Luiz again. David Luiz is all over the place because he can't touch him, and Salah just tears away. And I think it's a Sky game actually. That game's on Sky because
outside the boot,
because Tiitle is kind of going on and on about it. I have a feeling Neville might be on co-coms. I could be wrong, but Tyler is like, and he's away again. And usually, what happens here is, it's in the goal. And of course, I'm in the right company here. You'll know this, Andy, because you've probably done a video on it. But it's like he's away again. And it's like you can hear the like.
It's the inevitability.
It's the inevitability. Yeah, it's a formality.
Like,
and the inevitability I'm trying to very hard to say inevitability. But
that's it.
You can hear it in Tyler's voice as he runs through. He's like, "Oh, he's really good. Oh, yeah, it's a goal." Yeah, and it's like he's fucking scored again. You know,
it's like everyone knows. He knows there's this like impending doom.
Yeah. As soon as Salah takes that second touch, 50 yards from goal, everybody knows what's about to happen. Because
it's almost like
Arsenal are so high.
Pep Guardiola. Yeah.
You know, Luiz goes out to Salah. Luiz for me is a centre back, and he goes out to Salah, right? So where are all the bleeding centre halves, or the left back, or what's going on? And I think it's because Arsenal try press, and Salah's doing the cheating thing where he just stays at the pitch. And once he's through, it's like he's scoring, you know, and you can hear it.
You just already know.
And it's just in the net. 3-0.
And plus, he, like you said, he knows that he can't touch him, so he goes across Luiz again because he knows he can't stick a leg out there. But that's one of my favorite, like my most aesthetically pleasing goal is that sort of like Salah with just nothing but pitch in front of him, and it's just a straight up race, and you know, like there's a shot coming. I just like, they're the most exciting goals to me, like the one he scored against City, the one he scored against Arsenal a year or two before that, where it's just, he's just got nothing but the pitch and the keeper. But yeah, it was quality, brilliant.
Which became a custom thing for Liverpool this year, which became a thing, Gav. I remember us having to talk about it in a lot of shows, was we'd be winning games like this, and then we'd go, yeah, but we conceded one at the end. You're like, I know, but we've won 3-1, or we've won. They were always like, it's too late in the game for it to matter.
Yeah.
So
who scored for them?
Is it Tonali or the little midget fella?
Oh,
yeah,
I was going to
what
say
we've called Martinez.
Torreira,
that's it. Yeah, they thought he was like a mini Vieira, and then he was crap.
Yeah, he ends up at Sampdoria or something.
Yeah, he's rubbish.
I don't know what it is now.
Right, we move on now to Burnley away, which, Andy, we'll talk about the game, and this brings out one of the best memes that ever come out of a Liverpool game. So, Burnley away, let's be honest, we all think Burnley away is tough. You know, so all the big lads are back: Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You know, Matip starts again. We forget early on, Matip starts a lot of games.
But then he gets injured.
Because you always think Van Dijk Gomez for most of that league season. You forget Matip does quite a bit early season. It goes down as an own goal. Basically, Trent does his best to claim it, but it's a long cross that just hits Chris Wood and just flies top corner, which is the best goal to score against Burnley, because it's a very Burnley goal. And it just brought utter joy to me.
Yeah, I do remember thinking at the time, like losing it because I thought like he's meant that. I was like he's and like he is unbelievable, and he probably could do it if he meant it. And then I remember just seeing the replay, and it's just like it's mad the difference. It just like the tiniest little skim off the defender's leg or
A
whatever.
mad angle, it goes up and down.
It just goes right up. Yeah,
But it comes down with snow on it, and still it hits the top corner. It's the weirdest little thing. Like,
this was Burnley were good because they had like Nick Pope and all that. So it wasn't like this wasn't a crap Burnley. It's just the standard Sean Dyche Burnley, which we all hated playing.
Yeah.
Manny makes it 2-0. Bobby passed into it, and Manny just had this habit now of cutting in left on the left side, just bend it top corner. That's just what I do.
But Burnley do a very un-Burnley thing in that goal by trying to play football on the halfway line with their centre halves. I think it might be Ben Mee tries to play a ball square-ish. Firmino just gets on it, and Firmino. The funny thing about this one is, you know what's going to happen, right? Everyone knows what's going to happen, but Firmino just the whole world slows down around Firmino because he just goes, "I'm just going to wander along with this ball because I'm waiting for this fella to come up on my left hand side, and that's what's going to happen, and no one's going to stop it." And he just literally goes at like a jogging pace through the middle, going, "Whenever you're ready," and then he just plays him and he puts it in. But Burnley, it's the most un-Burnley thing. Like Burnley would usually get that and chip it up to Chris Wood or try to get it into that fella that dived at Anfield. I always forget his name. Ashley Barnes.
Oh yeah.
Biggest diver going.
Yeah, and they'd usually throw something into the channel for him or something up to Chris Wood or and they don't. I'm nearly sure it's Ben Mee tries to play a ball, and like the minute the second Firmino gets it, you're like, this is 2-0 because Mane's gone and Firmino's just waiting to release him. And Mane's really good at that finish where he just puts it across the keeper. With that
first time, like doesn't even need a second touch.
Yeah, he's good at it.
Yeah.
Liverpool are quite wasteful in the game, particularly Mr. Mo Salah, who I think a couple of times breaks away, probably should square it, but takes a shot on, and then eventually he gets the assist for Firmino. I don't think he means the pass. I think he scuffs it for a shit shot, and then Bobby puts it away. And
I think for the Firmino one, I think Firmino plays him because they win the ball back again deep. Firmino plays him down the right hand side, and what happens is he actually comes inside a player and tries to come inside another one, and I think he kick it off Salah, and it breaks, and then Salah goes for it and looks, and Firmino's like, that's mine, and whips it into the bottom corner for 2-0. But then the good stuff starts. Or 3-0, sorry. Then the good stuff starts.
That's in 80 minutes. And on 85, we bring a Origi on for Mane and bring Shaqiri on for Firmino. So you're thinking, all's good with the world. And the cameras all go to the bench. And Mane, Andy, is losing his absolute shit to the point where you see Henson go, "Oh, Mane," and then Milner has to swap seats, tells players to move down, to put his arm round him to calm him down, going, "It's okay," because Mo hasn't passed to him. And the game's over, and they're losing their shit.
It's because
he was furious. I do remember that.
You take that. I'm going to be back in 1 second. Sorry, I just have to grab a drink.
No, that's it. Like I just remember, being a little bit like kind of blown away by it, just kind of going like, "Oh, like because he's so chill normally." And I just remember seeing it, and I knew exactly what it was about even before they even addressed it, because like you would be like especially someone as good as Mane. I know stuff has come out recently with Firmino's book and talking about that incident and kind of saying that we had to calm him down and all this sort of stuff. But like if you're as good as Mane, and you like, there's so many simple balls that I do remember at the time thinking like, pass that. But you only really say that when they don't score themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was one of them where I was just like, I didn't read too much into it at the time, and I remember like a week or two later, someone showed Mane like that meme of like those two kids run together in the street, like one had Salah's face, one had Mane's face, and he was like cracking up at it. So after that, I was like, all right, grand, they're good then.
I think I don't know if you've said it, but before he gets taken off, right?
Yeah.
Mane passes to Salah, and Salah should really return it to him.
And he doesn't. He
takes on his right foot and gets blocked. And then Mane's losing the will to live because he's the one not passing it, and you've taken me off. Do you know what I mean? And it's got nothing to do with that. It's like literally Kop going, saving him for minutes or whatever it might be. And he's on the edge. But the Firmino thing walking up the tunnel is just sensational.
Well, I think it was inside Anfield where they just showed the wall walking off. Manny and Salah looking quite somber, and the Bobby Little looking smirk, which to me calmed me down because I thought right, is this going to be a thing
Yeah.
where they're going to fall out with you? But when you saw the little Bobby smirk, that was kind of a look of they're always like this.
Yeah.
Because the two alpha males, they both want to be top goal scorer, they both want to be top dog. This is just what they're like. They'll be fine tomorrow.
Yeah.
I like two mates always fall out, but it's ridiculous. that Bobby meme appeared everywhere for about a year, didn't it?
It was so good.
It
was so good. And like even watching it back like that night, you know, where you get the was that feels like it was an early game as well, actually.
I think all feel like early games, don't they?
Genuinely, that feels like it might have been an early kickoff.
It most probably was. I haven't got time in front of me. I didn't get enough LFC history. I got most other things. I didn't get that.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the summer and it was bright, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, like they go on.
I said, but listen, what we said that was a few games in. We're still top of the league. We stay top. We actually don't fall from first the whole season, which I can't imagine many clubs have done that.
Well, that's far from far, isn't it?
Yeah. But even goal difference and everything like that, we never dropped below first spot at the end of every.
No, we went. I think United beat Leeds 5-1 on the opening day of the season. That season.
Well, according to LCH, we finish every game at first. According to this, every time we were in it. So.
Yeah, because I think we might go top on the Friday night because we play on Friday. But I think what happens is. I think United smash Leeds on the opening day of the season the next day. I could be wrong. They go top on goal difference. And then we win the following week. I think United might go and lose a fucking Bournemouth or something the following week. And we take over and then we're gone. We're out, we're gone. No one goes near us. But that's for other episodes. But it's far from far. And you've gone away to Burnley, which, never an easy place to go. But when you look at it probably is. Southampton, Arsenal, of course, you've had Arsenal. But Arsenal at Anfield feels a bit like, flat track bullying to Liverpool at this stage. And you've had Norwich who have been promoted. So it's been not the softest, but not the most difficult either. But it's still a good start. And we know this season, Chris, it's all about putting points on the board and continuously heaping them on the board. That's all it's about.
Yeah, so we go into Newcastle and we do a bit of rotation. So Van Dijk's captain for this game. There's no Henderson. Chamberlain comes in, and Origi's in for Firmino because he's got a niggle. So you think, okay, bit of rotation. What could go wrong, eh? 7 minutes in, Williams, the Dutch winger,
Jethro Williams.
Jethro, it's an
great name,
absolute thunderbolt.
Benny and the
It was actually an absolute quality goal. I have to say, I was only watching it. I was like, absolute. He kind of does this little flick, or this little movement to get away from the defender. Absolutely rifles it in.
Yeah. So, which you're thinking, this could do about this today.
But the big thing is Firmino doesn't start because of a niggle. Origi starts, and Origi is genuinely horrendous. He's horrendously bad. Yeah, nothing that comes into him sticks. He tries to go by fellas, he's kicking it over the sideline. He is so bad. And he ends up going down injured after about 25 minutes, I think. And we're
37, he gets taken off. He
gets taken off, yeah. And you have to bring Firmino on. And then everything just changes. Firmino just decides, this is the crack. Mane has already equalised, I think, by the time Firmino comes on.
He has
another one in the top corner.
It does the same
right
again.
Into the top corner. Yeah, the exact same goal.
And then Firmino slots in Mane, but the keeper Dubravka is a bit ropey.
Well, he sort of saves it,
but then pushes it on to Mane, who just kind of goes over him.
But he stands
up
the
ball pops out.
Where's the ball gone?
Yeah, it's like the ball pops out and it's just falling right to Mane, who doesn't even need to smash it in. Just there's someone running in to stop him. Mane just calmly just taps it in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I remember this game really well.
Yeah, I also remember this as one of my favourite assists. This is where people like watching these skill things that he's watching soccer, yeah, but this is skill with purpose. You see Bobby Firmino, he just stands the ball, does a back heel flick
Oh my god!
perfectly to Mo Salah's path, and Mo just slots it with his left foot. What's so funny is you can see Gini Wijnaldum running in, going, pass it to me, and he still scores, which is thinking, oh, we could have had Manny part two,
This is
though,
the one.
Gini.
This is the one where when Salah plays it to Firmino, and Firmino does that lovely kind of flick.
Yeah.
When you're watching it from the Kop end, as soon as he does the flick and Salah takes over, Virgil van Dijk's hands go in the air. He's literally, he puts his hands in the air as if he's celebrating the goal, because as Salah takes over and still has to go by two people and finish, Virgil van Dijk's hands go up in the air as soon as he takes over on the ball.
That's brilliant.
If you get the angle from the Kop end, you'll see it.
I was going to say, I love seeing those shots. I'd love to have a separate camera just on Van Dijk for any Liverpool goal, because anytime you can, like, you have that angle of the goal where it's like full pitchling, and you see that a few times with Van Dijk where he's just like, he sort of knows it. But like that goal, like the flick and then Salah's run, I think one of the Newcastle players falls on his arse and Salah slots it in. But like that's really like, that's up there with like one of the top 10 goals of that sort of front three era, I think, anyway.
Because it is up there, absolutely.
Because like for Firmino's skill is it all just seems so easy, and it's anything but easy, and it just looks so like they're just having a bit of crack, like, you know.
The precision of it though, because if you go back and watch it, the pass from Salah into Firmino, like the gap he actually puts it through was very small. There's a couple of legs can get in the way of that, and then Firmino to stand on it and then pirouette, you know, back to him. And the thing is, like, this is a team that have gone 4 from 4 in the league. They know what their job is. They've 1-0 down. They go 2-1 up, and you could forgive them for, while being in control, doing very percentage things and hoping, look, let's hope the percentage things get us over the line, and we can make it 3-1 or hold out for 2-1. Newcastle weren't doing an awful lot, but they don't. They end up scoring one of the best goals of the season to make it 3-1. And it's like, I think it starts to click with fans then. These boys have no issue with what they're trying to do here. Nothing seems to be holding them back. They've no fears. Like, literally, they're 2-1 up. They could go easy, but they don't. Bang, bang, bang. Let's do this. Let's do something brilliant to make it 3-1. And usually them goals come when you're 3 or 4-1 up and you try something and it comes off. But this is a 2-1. And I'm not saying it would have burst the bubble for Liverpool, but it would have been kind of, you should really win that. And you're 2-1 up and you're trying that sort of stuff. If it doesn't come off and Newcastle grabs something at the end. But Liverpool have no inhibitions about them. It's just, we're going to win games. And if we need to do it this way, we will. Because that's what they were like. You know, we look at this Liverpool team today and we're saying it's being built and it's progressing. But Liverpool could find a way to beat you any way you wanted. You could fight them. You could make it a big, expansive game. You could make it a tight game. You could sit back, and Liverpool found a way. And that goal is, when you actually look back on it, it should rank probably a lot higher and get more exposure than it probably does, in fairness. Probably only shows up, you know, this day last year sort of thing. Last time out against Newcastle sort of thing, where it should be used a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. Right, we'll go through one more game before we cut the end of the first show. So we had gone away to Napoli, got beaten 2-0 because we just don't win away in Napoli, do we? We just keep getting spanked.
No.
Is that where Naby Keita come on and after 10 minutes decided he didn't want to play?
No, I think that might have been the year before.
Was it? Might have been the year before.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's not in many of these squads at the moment, so who knew? So we'll go. This is probably one of the pinnacle games for us. Is away to Chelsea, which is this when Chelsea were good. You know, this is always a tough game. And the nervousness and the eye around this is the start 11 was fine. It was kind of the standard main start 11 plus Adrian. But when you look at the bench, we had our striker option for the bench was Ryan Brewster, which you forget is still at Liverpool then because Origi was knackered. And this is where you were looking, going. We probably would have liked another one in the summer because do you know what? If we need a goal from the bench, you know, we're gonna have to try and do something Lallana or Chamberlain. Or, you know, we're not going to get it. You know, we're going to rely on the kid. We're going to rely on the kid really. And I remember early on in this, Andy, Chelsea have some good early chances, which Adrian, to be fair, stands up to. And then
that's it.
The Trent goal.
I mean, the Trenko was just, and again, like let's always focus on Martin Tyler's commentary, but that was one where I just remember like such a sweet hit, and I think it was keeper side as well, wasn't it? And it was just like, it was just like, to be fair, on this one he probably was just saying good goal, but it was just the tone. I remember he's like, oh, wonderful. And it was just real, like, like he's like, oh, oh, wonderful, but like absolutely rifled in, like, like I'd love to get, where they used to have where it would tell you the speed of the traveling ball. I'd love to see one of them for that, just because that was one of the hardest hit free kicks, like, that I think I'd seen in a long time. But yeah, it was quality. And then even his celebration, like, it was very,
it was
like,
weird. It was a weird. It was that, wasn't it? It was doing,
yeah.
It
was
never explained what it was
calm. He was thinking, I'm a Champions League winner now. I'm scoring these goals for fun. Like, he's just whatever he's doing.
Whatever you want to do.
But it was a great strike.
It is a great goal, and it's actually one where Mane, I think, has the ball and gets fouled, and Christensen, I think, is moaning about it, but he clearly fouls him. And Christensen, I think it's Christensen, fouled him. And you're looking at Salah and you're looking at Trent, and when Salah comes, I think Salah kind of comes running onto him, and you're thinking he might go, and he just slips it back. And you talk about Salah's penalty out against Arsenal, where it's still going. Like, if there's no net there, that thing's going out of the stadium, the one Trent hits, because the power behind it. And you can, and the best thing about it is the people standing behind the goal. They don't. Do you know when you see a free kick bend and you're kind of looking, you see the people behind the goal and going, oh, that's going in. The head's nearly dropping as it's going. None of them have time to react. This thing hits the net and comes back out, and then they go, oh fuck, we're 1-0 down. But the celebration from Trent again. Usually when you go away at Chelsea and you go 1-0 up, there's a big yes, kind of like, it's a big man. Trent runs away as if going, this is what we do. Yeah. Like, this is where we are now. This is what we do. It's up to you to deal with us now. We don't care who we're playing, where we're playing. We don't care. This is what we do. It's up to you to keep up with us. And not many could, but like, that variation on the free kick was lovely. And
we don't do that enough.
We don't do that enough. Moving, shifting the ball. It's nearly become computer game-ish now, when they just line the wall up and go, he's either going to hit it that side to the keeper or that side, and it's going over the wall. Moving a little bit, being a bit inventive. And it's funny because that little change in angle from Salah blocks. It blocks Kepa. Because Kepa's lining up going, no one in front of me here, and then the ball moves that way, and naturally people move out of position. So now Trent has a big area to goal to hit, but he literally has markers to hit it around. Using the defender, sort of. You always hear that from strikers, using the defender to bend it. And Trent does that with extraordinary power, where he just lashes it. Yeah. So it was brilliant.
Just before we make it 2-0, this is what the whole Liverpool thing came up, Andy, because they used to wind everyone.
Azpilicueta, wasn't it?
Azpilicueta scores, and VAR checking for ages. We're going, and you watch it, you go, cross comes in, there's interplay. Adrian actually makes a good save, falls out to him, taps in, you go, for fuck's sake, that's silly. And they're going, checking for offside, and you watch it going, there's no offside there. And they take it 2 stages back to where a ball's placed at Mount, and it is offside.
Yeah.
5 more things happen before then. And it feels now where you go like, oh, that's one of those VAR rules that in the Premier League they are less likely to happen now because they don't do it. I mean, up until Toulouse. We would have said, oh, you never get them now. But I just remember the piss that boiled, because you're just like, it felt far too far back. It did feel like got away with them there a little bit.
There's like, I didn't even question it at the time. When they'd scored, I was like, like I was, and it's one that, like, whenever I'm watching football with like my mates or something, it'd be always like, you know what, I would hate to concede it, but I'll take it. Or, you know what I mean? Like I would hate if that happened to my team. But I think that was a bit more of the norm back then. Like now, I think I don't think that would count. But I do remember at the time they were going real far back with like, there was, I can't remember, there was another game where like Liverpool were, someone was a Shaqiri or someone was like fouled on the halfway line, and we were calling for it.
It's Spurs away where it's actually a handball against Firmino.
Handball. But it's miles back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that was happening a lot back then.
Yeah. And then because we're Liverpool and we like to annoy people, we win Aspilicueta then gives a free kick away, and we go, we'll try this free kick routine again. Just back heel, it's a Robson, swings it in, and Bobby Firmino's just stood there, no one around him. I'll just let this in, lads, and just walks off. Just walks off with his big smile.
There's a couple of things around this one. Firstly, I think it is Aspilicueta that fouls Gino Wijnaldum. Gino Wijnaldum goes to flicker it over his head, and just just stands there and does nothing. Gino Wijnaldum kind of throws himself to the ground, but he gets the free. The other thing about it is that they backheel it to Robertson because Robertson much prefers to hit a moving ball. It's actually like people are saying, "Oh, they changed the angle again." There, it actually comes out that Robertson just likes a moving ball. Whether you're gonna backheel it one way or the other, he's coming onto his left foot, and that was the thing at the time, which was fucking hilarious for me. You know, is it not easier to hit a dead ball? Maybe it's not. Maybe he just likes the ball moving, so he comes onto it. Firmino gets up, plants the header, and I think Liverpool. Is this the game where Kante scores?
Yeah.
Liverpool look real comfortable, and then Kante scores. Then there's a bit of a bedlam for like the last 15 minutes.
I have to take fault for this goal because I remember what it felt to go like right from distance. I was all right with most things, and it felt to Kante went. It's Kante from distance. Kante don't score. I went right. Set here, lads. Let me hit it from there, and he hit to like an absolute bullet. And you look so, and my father-in-law was looking at me. You know about boring a hole in your head, and you're going, I'm not gonna turn over. And I kind of just like sink in my seat, looked at my phone, and went, "Good goal, that." Because I know it's like you text your mate going, he won't score from there, and so he does. You go, oh.
It's like one of those tempting fate things where you're just like, what's the worst that could happen?
And the thing is, it's N'Golo Kante, right? Who literally, for the last 5 years of his career, has only played against Liverpool. He plays against fucking nobody else. He's injured all the time. And then you look up and you go, Chelsea are playing Liverpool in 2 weeks' time, and it comes out within 5 days of the fixture, Chelsea are hopeful to have N'Golo Kante back. And he just seemed to play every game. But I remember being very comfortable in that game, and then he scores, and it's like, it was mayhem. You're like, just get this fucking game, blow it up quick, and get out of here, you know, from looking so comfortable. And like you said, Kante's fucking hitting them in 25, 30 yards. You're like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? But the type of team Liverpool are, they see it out. Whereas Liverpool teams before that would have went, this fella's scoring against us, this is a load of me bollocks. And then we'd be 3-1 down. You know, the sort of way within no time.
I mean, Klopp did his as soon as Kante scores, Mane's off, Milner's on, and I'm pretty sure within about a minute of being on, he puts three fellas in the air because that's what he does.
Yeah.
And Lallana comes on again, about 5 minutes to go for Henderson, and then we throw on Gomez for the last couple of minutes and go, just get this game won.
Yeah.
See, I have things about going ahead at certain grounds, bring back trigger memories for me, right? So, going ahead at likes of Old Trafford, I immediately think of that fucking 99 FA Cup third round game. Do you remember? Where we're 1-0 up with 2 minutes to go. But the Chelsea one always reminds me of, I think it might be the 97 FA Cup, 94. Anyway, we're 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge. Collymore, I think Collymore might get one. And we end up losing 4-2. And every time we go ahead at Stamford Bridge, I think that cup, it's a FA Cup or 2-0 up. I want to say Collymore and McManaman maybe score. But like, we're literally cruising. And next thing, we're 4-2 down. I don't know what happened. So every time we go ahead at Stamford Bridge, I always think of that FA Cup game. I'm going to say 95-ish in around there. Because Collymore's playing. And we make the 96 final, so I want to say 95. But yeah, so these memories trigger them all the time. When Kante scores, I'm like, just blow it up. Just bribe the fucker. Do whatever you can. I can't have Chelsea coming back and getting that nowadays, but they don't. And is that 6 from 6?
Yeah, it is. And we're also like going, we haven't started like this for ages, but we all knew when you're playing against City, having been pipped by a point, every game felt like 6 games in. Gav, you were doing shows and we're going like, this feels like the running. 36 games in.
Yeah.
And it felt like the running. That's how tiring it was.
But that's because of the levels us and City were at the season before. Yeah. Like you're literally sitting 6 games in going, right, there's 32 left. and we can probably only afford to drop 14 points here. We need 100. You know, it wasn't kind of getting 90 and severe. You needed to target 100 points and give yourself, if you got 2 points leeway, you might get away with it. That's the levels us and City were at. So you're right. I think it felt very kind of run in from about 3 games in. The intensity was just insane. And it actually goes away as the season goes on a little bit. But from very early doors, it was like, whoever drops points first here, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle to get back into it. And you could literally be sitting. I think we'll get into it later in other shows, but I think we're 9 games in before we drop a point, or 8 games in. And when you drop the points, you're like, oh, we've dropped points. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I remember the posters after we dropped points.
Yeah, they're sitting on 25 and 27it. You know, and you're kind of going,
they're going with their head
this
in
season
hands,
could be over. You know,
it's all over.
It was mad.
Brian also brings up a good point, because I remember this being a big talking point around Liverpool, which was how high Liverpool's line was, and the talk was Liverpool had learned how VAR was going to work, and said, because it's tight and you can get away and level isn't a thing, we reckon we can push our offside trap even higher because VAR will catch it. And probably for about 2-3 years, it worked perfectly. It scared the living shit out of most of us. We were going like, Jesus Christ, like they're all in the opposite half.
Yeah,
because nobody's going to drop.
But we seem to like that. That's where, like you were saying, that Liverpool. It was like it seemed like every week teams were getting through on goal against us about 4 times, but it was like, he's offside. Like there's no. I think they stopped checking. They just went, "Listen, you're offside." They're really good at this. They're really good at this.
It was almost like it was like two sort of lines of defense, because you knew, okay, well, one, like, you know, we had a bit of pace at back anyway, so we could chase back if we needed to. If they didn't get caught by VAR, then it's kind of like, okay, if the defenders don't get them, then okay, granted, Adrian was in goal for this time, but then like it was very much a tactic where it's like, okay, we're going to play this high, and we've got the best one-on-one shot stopper in the world between the goal. Now, when it was Alisson, so it was kind of like you have all these different sort of layers that they have to get through before they get to the goal. So I just think that was our tactic very much back then, where it's just like, we'll play high. If you do manage to get all the way to the goal, good luck against Alisson, sort of thing.
It was, but it's something I still talk about to this day. When Liverpool condensed it, Liverpool, like on average, Liverpool probably sit 40 yards from their goal, right? 40-ish yards from their goal. This was 45 yards. It was only 5 yards you were moving, but the thing that meant that they were able to push 5 yards at the other end of the pitch, which was making it even harder. And I still to this day think Liverpool are at their best when they make teams play percentage balls. So, you know, listen, if you go back to Spurs the other week, they've 8 men across the halfway line, but there's no pressure on the ball, so you can just go, listen, your turn to run, and I'll chip it over the top and we'll see how we get on. Where Liverpool were basically saying, no, if your keeper wants to kick along, we've 2 centre halves that'll eat that up most 9 times out of 10. But if your keeper plays it to a fullback, we are on you. And what options have you got? You either play it up the line, or you play it inside to a centre half who's going to be pressed and he's going to hit it. And we backed Van Dijk and Matip Gomez to eat up the ground, win a physical battle. So it wasn't, you know, it was clever, but I think it was very, very brave as well, because, you know, there will be times when a forward might just get the wrong side of you, but we backed our centre halves to eat up the ground and do the job anyway. Yeah.
Well, I think we'll call that quits for the first show. Gav, I quite enjoyed that.
You know, yeah, I think I remembered most stuff, which was cool, except for Ashley Brendan's name. Can I just say though, I've obviously this is a member show, so the amount of people in the show is limited, right? But I've been highly entertained by Brian O'Sullivan, who literally started with when we were talking about Newcastle, and I think it was Newcastle, and he was going on about he was ploughing a field or something. He's a farmer, so he was like, that opener woke us up. Newcastle, he says, I remember driving the tractor, rolling a field, watching it, right? And then Tom comes in with, bet you weren't driving an MF 165. Great tractor, but a lot older than the one I'd have nowadays. He says a John Deere always for me. So and then like this conversation's going on in the chat, which is amazing, right? And he goes, "What kind of plant do you run?" Says Tom, "Dairy farm, 80 to 100 cows. Very simple. A simple 16-unit milking parlour. Just myself and my dad running it." Like, so we're talking about a league title, and these lads are going on about what kind of farm there is, what equipment you have. Absolutely outstanding. So it was really, really, I really enjoyed that. And I just wanted to point it out before I forgot.
You don't get this in Sky Sports, do you, Andy?
No, you don't.
No.
So,
Oh, that's great.
Andy, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
In general, for this season, what are your top 3 goals? I like to drop something on them.
There's a curveball. Has to be the
There's
Newcastle one, Tom.
For
this title season, what are your 3 goals? You think the title year? These are the 3 goals I think of.
Do you know what? I'm kind of biased because I was actually at the City game later that year, or the one at Anfield. I would say the Salah goal that we were talking about with Firmino. I also think the 2 in the City game, to be honest, are probably my favorites. I don't know, like it's hard to think on the spot now of the ones that were the best. But I remember the Fabinho Thunder Bastard, because I just remember like where I was watching it, it was like profile view sort of thing. So you just see the ball just going straight in, and that sort of clang off there was something it hit. Yeah. And then it was and then the one where the one to make it 2-0 where Trent plays the long ball to Robertson runs up, the ball bounces and Salah hits it back across. I just remember thinking like that was a real. I think at the time we were only 5 points ahead of City, and I just remember thinking like that was a real like, oh, we're really doing it here. So it's the goals, but also what they sort of meant. But yeah, I'd say if I had to think on the spot, that's what I'd go with.
Fair enough. So where can people find you, Andy? Obviously, if people don't know, you have to have seen Andy's impressions of Martin Tyler, which is just the joyous things to watch, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just Andy Cantwell anywhere, and I've started a YouTube. I have a weekly Liverpool show where I react to the games, and what I lack in tactical awareness, I just make up for in taking the piss. So
can I do that one time?
What?
Can I do that with you one time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
great.
Love to
book me in, because I'm willing to. I'm willing to just take the piss solid, even if I watch the game and have all the stats.
Excellent.
Cool. There you go.
Love it.
Right, Gav. I've almost stuck to the hour, which is unusual for me. I'm not sure.
You're bang on. You're doing.
I'm not sure I'll get away with that again. So we're back again on Thursday, aren't we, Gav?
Yes, we're back for episode 2 on Thursday.
Episode 2 Thursday, where we're going to start with Sheffield United and we're going to end at Man City. So it's
nice.
And there's a few tasty games in there and a few moments where I think we lose our heads as well. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But listen, hope you've all enjoyed it, and listen, if you've got mates who haven't become members yet, this might be the time to make them become a member, because you guys get all these miles in advance, and people who aren't members will get these as downloads quite a bit later, I would say, wouldn't they, Gav? Yeah,
what we're going to do with this one is this has gone live to our members tonight, and what we're going to do is we're going to release this one as an audio download after we've done the live version of the second episode. So you're always going to be an episode ahead of everybody, regardless, with this. So there you go. Cool. Right. So until then, we'll see you again on Thursday. Andy, thanks for coming on again. Always a pleasure. Cheers, Gav, see you Thursday, mate. See you Thursday. Till then, guys, take